Good afternoon from the KELOLAND Live Doppler Storm Center. We continue to follow the showers and thunderstorms. It's a little more widespread across eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa as compared to central and western South Dakota. As we do go through the rest of the day, expect periods of rain across the east. Temperatures holding steady in many locations, probably in the 50s and 60s, and windy. More details on your forecast coming up as we begin midday in KELOLAND.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, midday in KELOLAND.
A local brewing company creates a new beer from purified water from the Big Sioux River. And in day two of former President Donald Trump's first criminal trial, both sides are back to pick a jury. Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. This midday, a Minnesota family is mourning the loss of a one-year-old boy who fell from a window at a Sioux Falls hotel. In a social media post, the child's parents say their sweet baby boy Madden has gained his angel wings. They also call him a real-life superhero because his organs will be used to help others. Madden Hine fell from a third-story window over the weekend. We checked with Sioux Falls Police this morning. A spokesman told us the investigation continues, but at this point, everything points to a tragic accident. In weather, we are following some heavier stuff out there. Some rain, Scott, and maybe the possibility for more.
Yeah, we'll continue to watch that for this afternoon. Periods of heavy rain still cannot be ruled out. We've gone through a couple of cycles of that in southeastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and northwestern Iowa. You could see, now this is looking at our satellite, just how those thunderstorms have blossomed across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND during the overnight hours. And right now you can see how it is widespread across eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Still streaming in from the south, so that tells me that yes, any of these things that do move through may contain periods of heavy rain. We do have that right now, looks like near Vermilion, and that is moving to the north. It looks like we're getting a break from the rain in and around Sioux Falls, but notice how this shower became a little heavier here near Haywarden, and that is moving to the north and maybe slightly to the northwest. Our next view takes us into eastern and northeastern South Dakota. We'll go with scattered showers here, maybe a couple of isolated lightning strikes. It hasn't been as widespread in Aberdeen. We'll get to that in just a bit. But some of the rainfall totals, a lot of this, of course, occurring after the midnight hour. You can see we're easily about 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches, anywhere from near Vermilion to the northeast to include Canton, and east of those areas into northwestern Iowa. And then we also have that strip of 1 inch or more between Yankton and Vermilion. Now, north of the interstate, a lot of this is coming in at maybe around 1/2 inch. Of course, we do have some spots a little more than that. And then this looks interesting here in the northeastern South Dakota. While Watertown, in and around Watertown, anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, some spots more. Check out from Redfield to Aberdeen. A lot of those locations are coming in with less than 1/4 inch of rainfall over the past 24 hours. And then, of course, we had our evening thunderstorms in western South Dakota, and some of those continued during the overnight with the heavy rain. Now, here's a look at some of the actual numbers. Just over 1 inch in Sioux Falls, about 1/2 in Mitchell, over 1.25 inches in Yankton. Brookings close to 1 inch, Watertown 1.5 inches, and then you do see those numbers from Aberdeen north at less than 1/4 inch, close to 1/2 in Pierre and over 1.25 inches in Rapid City. Still a marginal risk for severe weather in southeastern KELOLAND, otherwise at enhanced risk for central and eastern Iowa. As temperatures are in the 40s and 50s, we may touch 60. If that happens, I think we'll have to have some sunshine, and that would just add some instability into the atmosphere across southeastern KELOLAND, maybe to see another round of thunderstorms late this afternoon into this evening. I'll have more details on your KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Well, speaking of moisture, the average beer is more than 90% water, and the latest offering from Remedy Brewing Company is made with purified Big Sioux River surface water. In honor of Earth Day, Remedy is partnering with Friends of the Big Sioux River on another batch of Big Sioux Brew.
Had that borderline curiosity, like, what, really? And then they tried, like, that's really cool, That's kind of the point, I guess, is what it takes from an infrastructure, super high grade filters to strip the water down to almost nothing It takes about double the amount of water that we need to brew with in order to just get what we need.
Friends, the Big Sioux River collected and cleaned 300 gallons of Big Sioux River surface water for the project. The nonprofit will host river cleanups from 10 to noon Saturday in Brandon, Canton, Sioux Falls, and Watertown, while the Big Sioux Brew release party begins at noon at Remedy at 8th and Railroad in Sioux Falls. Many of you, our viewers, will recognize Elmer Carl from his ongoing commercials for Carl's TV and Appliance. Its founder is now in his 90s, living in Sioux Falls, where we recently caught up with him.
What goes around comes around. And if you take care of people, they take care of you, and business goes on.
The service, whether it's customer service, whether it's the community service, whether it's the wrench, whether it's the delivery service, that's why he ends every commercial. You're servicing dealers since 1956.
Carl's longevity, as well as what he would say to someone beginning a business, are in focus in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND at 10 o'clock Central Time. In national news, former President Donald Trump's historic criminal trial in New York resumed today as lawyers from both sides question possible jurors. Michael George has the story from New York.
Former President Trump was back in court for day 2 of jury selection in his hush money trial.
Some accountant, I didn't know, marked it down as a legal expense. That's exactly what it was. And you get indicted over that?
On Monday, the first batch of 96 prospective jurors were questioned, with more than half excused after saying they could not be fair and impartial. And as questioning moves forward, CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says both sides need to look out for so-called stealth jurors.
The juror who answers everything perfectly because he or she wants to be on that jury and vote the way that he or she does not appear that they will vote.
Trump is accused of scheming to funnel payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels through his former lawyer Michael Cohen to cover up an alleged affair when he was running for president in 2016. Both could be potential witnesses at the trial, and last week Trump slammed them on social media, calling them sleazebags. Prosecutors want Trump to be held in contempt for violating a gag order. A hearing on that will be held later this month.
This is all coming from the Biden White House because the guy can't put 2 sentences together.
Trump denies any wrongdoing and calls the proceeding a politically motivated witch hunt. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Trump is required to be present at the trial, and he criticized the judge for not allowing him to attend a U.S. Supreme Court hearing next week on his presidential immunity claims.